Welcome to the Distance Stream podcast. I'm Adam and this is
Tyler.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about like our background and how we got into running. We want to make it like so that you guys know us. I know a lot of people are watching are people that we know personally, but trying to explain our love for running to you so that we're not just here talking nonsense. Like we actually know what we're talking about. So first we're going to talk about a little bit how we got into running. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, so back in middle school, I started off playing junior football in 6th grade, and I was just okay at it.
I forgot you did football.
Dude, yeah.
That's so weird.
I forgot about it, but...
Because don't you have a helmet in your room, too?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Well, actually, I took that to Goodwill.
Did you really?
Yeah, I got rid of that. I didn't have enough room. But most of the time I sat bench because all the other players that have been doing it for a while got favored. But I remember our game before the playoffs, I had 2 sacks as a safety.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
So that was pretty good. But I mean, I kind of miss playing football because low key it's fun just hitting people. But going into 7th grade year, I don't know how, but my mom convinced me to try cross country, and I did not know how to race at all. I think what I ended up doing is sprinting the first 100 meters of the race. And granted, this is a 2-mile race. I sprinted the first 200, and I kind of just like ran. Like I didn't know how to pace myself or anything, which, I mean,
like any starter runner.
Yeah, and it was at BV.
Oh, yeah. That
But
course is not great either.
yeah, but I remember getting 8th on my team. So I was 8th all year, and I ended up going to states that year too. So I learned a lot. And then 8th grade year,
Who were the 8th graders your 7th grade year?
we had Vincent, Stevie.
It was their year.
Carson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Braden.
When
Braden broke the record,
yeah,
and then now Alex broke it. But
yeah. But anyways, 8th grade year, I went and I was second the whole time, and I kind of had Aiden in my shadows the whole time. And going into 8th grade, like I just still didn't know how to prepare. Like my diet was trash, and realistically, I didn't decide I wanted to focus on distance specifically for cross country or track until 9th grade year. I think 9th grade year was a little bit of a turning point, but like it wasn't that much of a turning point. We can talk about that later too.
Yeah. So for me, for running, I mean, I'll be real, I was fat, and my doctor basically told me like if you don't lose weight, you're going to be really unhealthy in the next few years. So I tried to like start getting into running and stuff. I really didn't work out a ton. I kind of just walked a lot. Like I ran with my mom like when I was like 6, 7, 8, like when I was really, really young. We like ran like the turkey trot and stuff every year. So it was like when I was running like 40-minute 5Ks. And so like I did that. And I like really started to get into athletic stuff, and I played soccer like my whole life, even when I was, overweight. But I played goalie, so I didn't run like at all. It was like the worst part of my sport. Like I hated running, and now I do it all the time. But I tried out for the soccer team sophomore year for high school. I didn't make the team, and one of my good friends, Chase, asked me to join the cross country team because I wasn't on a team, and I told him no. And then I think a week or so go by, maybe a few days, and he goes, "Are you sure? Like you should really try it. Like if you don't like it, you can just quit." And I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'll give it a shot. I mean, I don't really have anything to lose." So I went into that season having absolutely no idea what the hell I was doing. Like it was so weird, dude. Like all I did was run, and I was like my first run, I ran with Oscar. I ran like a 5-mile run for my very first run, which is not a good idea, by the way. Don't do that.
like
but
ever running.
ever
I
running.
remember my first practice in 7th grade year. He, it was either the first run I did was Grady Block, which is 2.4 miles,
Yeah.
which is a lot for your first time running.
Mm-hmm.
Like even as a seventh grader, or just a normal person.
Mm-hmm.
But then like 2 days later, we did a mile time trial. Like, granted, the coaching was horrible
Yeah.
when I was in
I
middle
mean,
school.
it was middle school. Like all you guys did was Indian runs, which I don't know if you know what that is, but basically you get in a line and you run, and whoever's in the front is the person doing the pace. And did coach tell you when to go?
He'd blow a whistle, I'm pretty sure, but I feel like,
Not how you get better. But
yeah.
looking back, like,
Wait, so you were talking about like how
oh yeah,
Chase was.
oh yeah, Chase. Like I got into it, and I like my first run. Like I was beat. I was like, "There's no way I'm doing this past this season. Like I'll do it this year, and then I'll be done." And I went through the whole season. I think my first 5K ever on the team was 22:55. My PR sophomore year ended up being, I think, 21:30 or something. So I dropped like a minute and a half throughout the whole season, which is really good for like your first time. And then I went into that winter after the season. I didn't run a single mile the entire winter before track because I wasn't going to do track because I was like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. And then Chase was like, so you're doing track, right? I'm like, oh, I didn't know that I was going to do track too. So
Wait,
I did track.
so what made you decide to keep on running for cross country even though you hated running the 5 miles?
I hated everything about it, but like I don't know, like I stuck with it because I was like doing it with my friends and like people I knew close. So I was like, okay, I'll keep doing it just to like be with my friends. And I literally went into like I think like junior year of cross country. Like I trained that whole summer just to like stay in shape. But I literally went into junior year and I was like, I'm not trying. Like there's no way I'm not trying. My fastest like 2 mile from track the year before was like 13:20. Like it was awful. And then I went into the first race at the time trial for junior year and I ran 12:05. So in a whole summer, I dropped another minute and a half in a race. So like I was like, okay, wait, like this is actually fun to like get faster. So then I like really got into
So
it.
that was like your turning point?
Yeah. My turning point was the summer between sophomore and junior year because I was like, I really did not want to do it. Like I hated it, but
I'd say my turning point was in between sophomore cross country and sophomore track. That winter,
yeah,
I hit my peak.
you really, yeah, because of
Well,
me.
not my peak, but I hit a level of confidence. Like freshman track, I had IT band problems, which is in your hip, and then sophomore cross country, we did this thing at Speedway, at cross country camp, and there's this like square that there's
Around a
teams on
park.
opposite corners around a park, and you have to try to chase the other person. And during that, like just the sharp turns messed up my hip, so I started
That's what
having.
messed up. That's what
Yeah,
really. That's
I
funny.
talked to Jans that
Our
day,
our high school coach, by the way,
our high
Jans.
school coach, who's now our assistant coach.
Mm-hmm.
But I talked to him after, and he told me to roll out and it'll be fine. I ended up having hamstring problems that whole time and had to wear a brace. And
Yeah, I
then
remember your sophomore season
I was
was
struggling mentally on just pushing myself.
yeah. Your sophomore, I remember your sophomore cross country season was like really all over the place. Like your
Yeah.
first race was like 18:30 or something,
My first
which at the
three
time was
races,
slow for him.
my first three races were 18:30s, 18:40s. And
You
then
got a lot better at the end of the season.
just out of nowhere, my fourth race, I just get a confident boost out of nowhere, and I ran 17:21, which my freshman PR was 17:49 or
41.
17:47.
It was like 41
No, it's 47 or 49.
from Three Creeks.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Um, but I ran with this dude all winter, so we were pretty active, and he got me to run indoor because I did not want to do indoor
Yeah,
at
indoor
all.
track, like a lot of people don't like to do it because it's like they just want to break. But I think it's great just to like get you like mentally ready for outdoor. Because
Yeah,
realistically, it's not a true season.
yeah. I think
Yeah,
my PR for the 1600 freshman year was 5:01, and every single race I tried to beat it and I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I was not allowed to run the 32 freshman year, so I with my hip, so I didn't run it at all. And going into indoor track, I ran 4:57
1.
and then 4:51.
Yeah, because you ran that at the OSU race that
Yeah.
I ran
And
in.
then I ran 4:51 at the Otterbein Invitational.
Oh, I forgot you ran. Yeah, you ran the
Yeah.
Otterbein one.
So I think that gave me a boost of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and going into sophomore track, I was attacking every workout, everything.
Mm-hmm.
I was probably one of the fittest I would ever be. I ended up starting first race of the season with the 3200. I've never ran it. Jans was like, you know what? I just want you to go out and experiment with it. I ended up getting second with a time of
12.
10:12.
Yeah.
My first 3200. This dude was
That made me
mad.
so mad because like I
I
totally thought he was like an 800 runner, and we were both in that race together. I got sixth, and I ran a 10:52, I think.
this
So I was so mad because I thought that I would be able to pace with you. I remember during the race, I actually yelled at you. I actually
yeah,
told you to
this dude
go.
yelled at me during because
Forgot
I
about that
didn't get
race.
out hard enough. He yelled at me. He's like, "What the heck are you doing?" So I just started competing with the other two guys.
hmm
It was me and two others.
Liberty. There was a guy from Liberty, right?
Yeah, me and two others were at it, and then there was 2 laps left. We both dropped that guy, but on the last lap, that kid just got me by a little bit. He beat me
Yeah.
by maybe 3 seconds.
You
And
ended up beating him by the end of the season, though.
oh yeah, by the end of the season, I did my best. My best time for the 3200 was at the Delaware Invite, well, the Delaware County Invite, and I ran a PR of 9:54,
Mm-hmm.
which,
Which was the fastest for our team that season,
yeah.
and third all time, right?
Well, Brownie ran 9:54. Well, 9:53.
Hand timed.
Okay. I don't know how that
Oh,
got
shit.
into athletic.net as
Because of
9:53.
Yance. I think Yance put it in there.
All right, well, then it's whatever. But I ended up getting the second fastest time in the 1600 with a time of 4:33, which is a massive drop from my indoor
Yeah.
time. And I just didn't know how to run an 800. Like, I just experimented every single race, and most of the time it was a 4x8. My 4x8 split was 205,
Yeah.
but my open
Open
8
is bad. No one talk
is
about
like
open.
211
Yeah.
because I never just ran a fresh 800. It was always after 1600.
Yeah.
So I never got the experience to run an open 800 fresh,
Yeah.
which sucked. But
I'm not even gonna mention what my 800 is.
I think over the summer, I think we started doing workouts way too early. But by the time I got to time trial, we had a former, well, not former, but we had the school record holder, Jake Edwards, pace me, Aiden, and Callie, um, which was nice. I remember him asking Aiden and I if what we wanted to do. We wanted to go on pace for 10 flat, and during the race, he talked to us and helped keep us calm. And I remember there's 4 laps left. I was feeling tired. He's like, "You can't give up now." I just stuck with him the next 3 laps. On the last lap, he's like, "You gotta push." So I really was able to lock in and find 3 extra gears I didn't know I had, and I ended up knocking my time down to 9:44
Yeah.
opening.
Like at the beginning of a season, that's pretty big. I mean, it also kind of probably has contributed to the fact how early you guys started doing
Yeah.
workouts, but that's still great. And then talk about your go up to your PR for cross country, and then I'll talk about everything for me.
All right, so my first race, I ended up running 16:20. 1621, I believe. No, 1635 or 1621. And then I PR'd then. Highland, I didn't PR.
It was
It was
16:35 at that one.
1635. Then I ran 1616 at Watkins.
Mm-hmm.
And then my fourth race was unfortunately my final race this season. I ran 1605, bumping myself up to 6 all time at Hayes High School. And I ended up tearing my meniscus
Just taking a squat.
really, really bad the very next day. And it ended up flipping over itself and I had to get knee surgery.
Yeah.
So that was very unfortunate.
So basically, you're still hurt, essentially.
Yeah,
Still recovering,
so
at least.
I had to get an incision here, and the next one there. They went in with the little scope and did it. There was 2 surgeries I could have had. I could have either had it scraped, or they just scraped it, and I would be back and running by now, or they would have repaired it. And repaired it would have been so much better.
Better for the long term.
Yeah, it would help with arthritis.
Yeah, arthritis. Yeah. So when you're old, your knee isn't like destroyed.
But it also helped keep cushion still there. So I ended up getting it repaired, which I didn't have a choice. They decided during surgery.
Yeah.
But I think doing that, it's really helping me strengthen stuff that I didn't. My hips were so bad.
Yeah.
I'm strengthening those now. I'm doing core now. I mean, my diet's trash right now, but at the same time, I'm trying to enjoy the time, because during cross country, I wouldn't say I was dieting, but it was very strict on what I was eating. On Saturday, I would do my cheat day after my race, because I'm like, I ran my heart out, so I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
for me, coming off of senior year of high school, so actually, how about this? So cross country, my last year of cross country, senior year of high school. So I had a great season, or off season in the summer. So that was just before senior year. It was the best off season I had had. I ended the track season the year before not really satisfied with where I was at. I ended up running barely under 12 minutes in the 2 mile. Like, not good. Really not good at all.
Wait, for senior year?
No, junior year. I'm talking about after, so junior year into senior year. So I don't even remember what my PR was. I don't keep track of it because I don't even remember because I hated it. And I just wasn't satisfied. Like, I had a really, really good winter. It was my first time competing in indoor. Like, I was really finally starting to feel like, oh yeah, I'm going to be fast. And then going to the summer, I really hit it hard. Like, I was really going crazy. Probably too much, obviously. Because then I ended up getting a stress fracture in my foot, or my ankle, just after the time trial. So I got 5th at the time trial. I got 5th or 6th.
Yeah, I got 3rd.
Yeah, behind Brownie and Aiden.
Brownie and Aiden, which were fast, and I still did not know how to run a 2 mile.
Yeah, because I was right behind you.
So what I ended up doing was basically just stayed with Carter and Chase and Davis and you the whole time.
We were in a group the entire race until the last lap.
Until the last lap, when Carter and I started pushing, but I beat them. So.
Yeah. So, and then I think I ran 11:05. I think that's what my time was, because you were just under 11.
I was 10:51.
Yeah. So I ran 11:05. I was really, really happy about that at the time, because that was probably a minute PR, because I just had such a bad track season, and going into the cross season, I was like, I'm going to really attack this. And like I said, I probably attacked it too hard because I ended up with a stress fracture. So my ankle was hurting for that whole week leading up to the time trial, but I was like, okay, it's fine. It's whatever. It's not going to hurt me.
I remember you talking about that, because I remember I have this lotion, it's called magnesium lotion. You put it on sore muscles and it helps. I actually ended up putting that on my hamstring, and then I didn't wear the sleeve, but I remember I didn't want to wear spikes because I didn't want to injure myself more. So I ended up wearing my Vaporflies, which are
the ones all the way.
I don't
even know if the camera can see it.
or these pink ones,
Yeah.
but I have a black and purple bullish version, but
Mm,
I ended up wearing those for that.
yeah. And then for me, I just wore my spikes. But anyway, continuing on my season, I ended up running, I don't even remember, it was like 18:30 something. Not where I wanted to be. I really wanted to be under 18 for that season. And at the time, like going into the summer and to the season, like I definitely could have done it. But it's like crazy to think back to that because like I'm so much faster now than I was. Like, and then like indoor came around and I didn't have the greatest indoor season. I think I ran like a 5:05 in the mile. That was probably the fastest I ran, and that's still my PR. I never ran faster than that. That's still my mile
Yeah.
PR. And
I
then
I remember I paced this dude
yeah,
in
I was gonna say
outdoor
that in a
for
minute.
the 1600. I ended up trying to pace Jonah, Davis, and you for the
Sub
1600,
5.
and I was on pace the whole time. I ended up getting like
Okay,
4:55.
here was the problem. Our first lap was a little fast. The second lap was too slow, and then I settled into the second lap's pace. That was my problem.
The problem is that Jonah went out way too fast, but you stuck with me, and I was on pace the whole time because I kept checking my
Mm-hmm.
watch. But then it was it started to get windy, which was another thing.
Like mid race, obviously. Like six, like it. I think it was probably like 20, 25 mile per hour gusts, so it was not great. And we're at Buckeye Valley High School, which is right in the middle of a cornfield,
Yeah,
so very open, very windy.
but I think realistically, Jonah and Davis probably could have got it, but Jonah just went out way too fast
Yeah,
and
like,
burned himself out.
and then for like outdoor track senior year, like I had a lot better season than I expected. I mean, well, a lot better than like prior seasons. I ended up running like 10:48 in the 2 mile, which isn't bad. It wasn't where I wanted to be, but I knew that going to Ohio Wesleyan, which is where I go now, and on their team, I knew that having their summer training would be great. I got a month into summer training, and my hip decided it was time to be unaligned. So then I basically didn't have I didn't have like a month and a half of summer training, and I'm still dealing with my hip now, like trying to strengthen it and get it back to where it was. Essentially, my left one was in the socket like this, and the right one was like that. So
That's
you didn't know
crazy.
that?
I didn't know it was like that. That's
No, it was pretty
wild.
bad. And I could barely walk on it for like a week. So I biked all summer. And going into the cross country season, I did not expect to race at all. And in high school, you race 5Ks for cross country, and in college, you race 8Ks. So just under 5 miles. I think it's something like 4.92 miles. Um, so I didn't expect to race at all. And my first race back, I ended up running 29:19, which is like a 5:50 pace for 5 miles, which was really good for where I was at. I was not expecting to race that fast. From there, it was downhill. But the first
Yeah,
race was great. It's a little different in college because it's such a long race. You're realistically only racing for position rather than racing to like
for time.
for time. Because like if you just can't,
Yeah.
it's a lot more difficult. All right, so you want to talk about your knee injury a little bit?
Yeah. So the day after running 1605, I was planning on going to the fair with some of my friends for truck pulls. And I got ready. I drove over to my friend's house because I made vinyl stickers the Friday before.
Yeah.
So I had this American flag sticker, vinyl sticker I was going to put on Owen's e-bike. I went over to his house. It was all chill. I was putting on the vinyl sticker. I was squatting, and I twisted in like that. And my knee's done this thing where it's like done a quick dislocation where it like goes like that, and then I like shake it like that, and it pops back in, and it's fine. But what
Because your
really
meniscus was probably already torn.
what really scared me is that when I went to do that, it wouldn't do that.
Wouldn't go back into
And then
place.
when I tried to straighten it, I had to like push my leg down and it didn't go back.
Jeez, bro, I didn't know that. That's
And it was scary cuz I got up, I was trying to like bend it and like it wasn't like and I knew something was really messed up. And he's like, "Are you okay? It's like, do I need you ice?" I'll be like, "No, I'm fine." And it was just scary because I remember I had to. hobble to my truck, and my truck was maybe 100 feet away.
Mm.
Well, 100, I'd say 50 yards. But I had a hobble, like I was limping bad to my
Yeah.
truck. Like I got in and I didn't end up getting it checked out for almost a whole week, which is insane.
Yeah, you probably should have gone in like right away.
Well, I saw the trainer and then I was able to straighten my leg after 3 days, and then they were concerned about the swelling,
Mm-hmm.
so they had me go get it checked out. And I got an X-ray. They couldn't see anything, like nothing was broken.
Yeah.
So they ordered an MRI. So I went in and got an MRI that next Thursday, and also had the appointment to get a check. We'll find out the results. And in that, I already knew something was gonna be messed up. Like I kind of prepared myself for the worst. And during that meeting, they told me that unfortunately I had a significant tear of my meniscus, which is better than the ACL, which is what they thought, which I don't
Mm-hmm.
know exactly why, or my MCL. But I ended up getting a buckle handle tear, which a buckle, if you think of a bucket handle, it's like the handle, it's like here and then it goes like that. So basically what happened is my meniscus like this,
Mm-hmm.
and it flipped over on itself and it
Dang.
tore right in the middle. And they told me that unfortunately it's gonna require surgery, which I mean I was kind of disappointed about, but it really struck into me when I got to practice and I was talking to Coach Johnson White, and just seeing their reaction
Yeah.
when they found out that I had to get surgery, it was just not good. Like I remember seeing their face and they were just disappointed, and talking to some of my teammates. They're like, "Oh my gosh, that's so bad."
Mm-hmm.
And like at the time, I didn't realize. Like I prepared myself so good for the worst
Mm-hmm.
that even though I knew how bad it was,
Yeah.
like I didn't realize how bad it was at the same time.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, that's probably how most people feel when they get injured like that. I
Yeah.
know, like, somebody which shout out Lucas, he might be on the podcast sometime soon, but he fractured his something in his leg, stress fracture, and he was the same way. Like he already knew it was something bad, went in, got the MRI, and knew he was out for the rest of the season. So injuries are hard, but I mean, that's I mean, it's a growing point too. Like we wanted to talk about a little bit like mentality, how big mentality is when it comes to running. Like that it mentality honestly is more important than
Pay,
training and talent.
yeah, I think you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't have the right mentality, you're not going to succeed at all.
If you
And
don't want it, basically, that's the best way to explain it. If you don't want to get better, if you don't want to race, like if you don't want to try to beat people, like it doesn't matter how fast you are.
yeah, like going into the workouts, like everybody would complain about the heat and complain about this or that. Like, just stop. Stop making
For real,
excuses.
bro. Just stop.
Stop complaining.
Lock in.
Lock in and do the workout. Like
For
I would
real.
go into the workout being like, "Oh, this is fun. I can't wait to," because like at the time I was the fastest runner, and I would go in the workout. I'm like, "Yeah, I know I'm faster than so many of these people," so I'd go in with the confidence of that, and I think that helped me through races too.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
after the first race, I got 11th place, and then I kind of realized because that was against a good amount of our conference
Yeah.
teams. So
You
that
would have
really,
gotten, wouldn't you
I
have
would have
gotten
gotten
like
second at conference,
with this
seventh.
with the 1605? So that's not even with like if he hadn't torn it and like would have gotten better throughout the season.
Yeah, I could have possibly won conference, and that's my hope for this upcoming cross country season.
On that note, we can talk a little bit about what we want to do in the next season. So
Yes.
Um, you can talk about a little bit about like PT and like how long until you can start running again, and like what your goal is for going into like the
Yeah.
summer and stuff.
So I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I could start running in January,
So in about a month,
February-ish.
month and
So
a half.
that's about when track starts. And I talked with the aunts and Wyatt at my exit meeting for cross country, and I was talking about how I'd come back and I'd still be with the team and participate. But after thinking about it, realistically, I think it's in my best bet to just stay at a track completely, because I think if I go back, I'm going to get pushed way too hard by my teammates
Mm-hmm.
and end up
And your own
overdoing it
ego
on
is
my
gonna
knee.
take you to like in the midst of
No,
a workout. Trust me, I get it.
well, I'm not even planning to do a workout until summer.
Yeah, I know.
Like, even if Jans tells me to do a workout, I'm not doing a workout until the summer.
Yeah.
Realistically, I think it's my best bet to do slow, like 15-minute jogs and slowly work back into it, because I'd rather be 100% for cross country than 70% for track and then get hurt again. Because
Yeah.
realistically, if I re-tear my meniscus, it how hard this process has already been. I would my cross country and track season for the rest of high school would be
Yeah,
done.
yeah, for real. And that would be awful.
Yeah, and
So basically your goal is just to get back healthy and be healthy going into next year cross country at that
my
point.
next year cross country goal is I really wanted to go to states this year for cross country. Well, qualify for regionals and then qualify for states. But unfortunately, that didn't happen, and like it just really, once I got hurt, a big chunk of the confidence on the guys team just kind of fell.
Mm-hmm.
And I think part of that was my fault, which I got hurt. But I mean, I still showed up and I pushed them. And I just think that they just didn't have that little extra confidence, which
Yeah.
they really struggled on trying to get back.
Yeah.
But like, my goals for this upcoming cross country season are just be 100% back, pushing myself, and just staying healthy, because like, if I'm going to spend all this time getting back to where I was,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to do all these little things like I was doing before:
Mm-hmm.
stretching, eating healthy, hydration,
Yeah.
sleeping good. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do all this to get back to where I was.
Yeah.
And I think cross country will be a building point because I'll learn how to race again. Um, but I think I'll really succeed more towards indoor track and track season.
Yeah.
My goal is to qualify for New Balance indoor or outdoor senior
Yeah.
year.
That'd be
I think
good.
that would be
For
amazing.
outdoor track?
Outdoor track, I would have to run the school record in the 920, which, well, in the 3200. So the 3200 school record is 920, which is by Jake Edwards. I'm at 944, and I was hoping to get it this year, but I'm not competing, so unfortunately, I won't get the chance.
Mm-hmm.
But the 5K school record is 1531. I'm at 1605, so I think that's definitely doable if I
Mm-hmm.
stay on top of my training
Yeah.
and I do all the little things.
Yeah. So for me, it looks a lot different because I'm not currently recovering from a meniscus tear. But for me, I'm going into right now. I'm about to be on Christmas break from school, and or well, it's winter break. I guess it's not Christmas break. And I'll be off for a month. So I have a month to basically really get in some solid miles before indoor starts. Um, I'm trying to get up into 60, 65 miles for max, average probably about 55 to 60 all throughout the winter, and then hopefully get into the 70s for outdoor. Just talked to my coach about that. And the biggest thing I'm focusing on is the 5K. So in college, I'm able to do the 5K for indoor and outdoor track. So either 25 laps indoor or 12 and a half outdoor. In this season, I will not be doing the 10K, but that is in my future. That is 25 outdoor laps. So it's
That is
insane.
insane. I remember doing the 1600 indoor, and I got
It's 8 laps.
in I got so tired doing 8 laps. I couldn't imagine doing 16 laps on an
Well, I'm gonna have
indoor
to get
track.
used to it. But so my goal is to get into the 1640s, possibly stretch goal 1630s for the 5K. And for me to say that is honestly so crazy because like right now I ran a just like a fun race, hot chocolate 5K, and I ran like 17:28. And I talked to my coach about it, like it was easy because I didn't really push myself enough, which is understandable since it was like the end of the season. I was just like trying to see how fast I could go like comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I was super comfortable. Like it was so easy. That's like a 5:35 pace, I think. It was super easy. So for outdoor, since I'll be on a track, I'm hoping to try to go 16:30, 16:40. And it's crazy for me to say because like my 5K PR in high school was like 18:30, like I said. So like now saying that I can hopefully get into the 16:40s, 16:30s, like it's crazy for me.
I think it's definitely doable with. I think you're getting the right training now.
Yeah.
You have the motivation.
Yeah.
You have, like, this dude has such a better diet than me. Like, it's actually insane. Like, compared to what I will eat on
Right
my
now
cheat
it's a
day
little
to his
iffy.
cheat day.
It's a
Well,
little
like,
different.
it's off season now, but like peak season, this dude takes his cheat days a lot lower than I take
Dude,
mine.
you eat like so many. There was one day we went to Meyer and we bought a box of donuts. I'm pretty sure you ate that whole box that
Oh
night.
yeah,
Dude, do
I
you
ended
remember
up
the night
eating.
you broke 10 and you ran 9:54? That
So
night we got Chinese food and I have a video of him munching it. I'll throw
that
that
was
video in. I'll put that video right here. I'll put that video in. That's such a funny video.
But definitely not something I can do. I love gummies. I think watching candy and
This guy was eating
well,
away.
that night was so nice. I ended up breaking 10 in the 32 under the lights at Liberty,
Yeah.
and it was like a monumental experience because it started to sprinkle at the end, and
Yeah.
I remember just having a vibe at the end because I ended up getting first on the team, breaking that. Everybody was so hyped because I
Yeah.
had the
Under the
fastest
lights.
time official in the 3200 meter for his at the time. So everybody was hyped, and it just really showed myself what I could do.
Yeah. For real. I mean, I'm really excited for this upcoming season. And I know like you won't be able to race, but you'll
Yeah.
be at some of my indoor meets. I'm gonna post once meets actually start happening, I'm gonna do like a day in the life of a meet. Like sort of what I do, and I'll have people film like my race, and I mean you'll
Yeah,
probably film it
I'll
too
get
because
some
you'll be at the home
clips.
meet. But I'm really excited for the season, and I'm really excited to get this podcast going, getting some
Yeah.
videos going, get some guest stars on here. Guest stars, but they're stars
But
in our lives.
yeah. Well, I think there's some people that can contribute to like different opinions because I think we're limited on it to so much, but I think if we have us two and one more person, I
Hmm.
think we can definitely go into a deeper meaning of different topics.
Yeah, a lot of things about mentality of running, training, like conflicts in running, like literally everything.
Yeah.
We want to get the word out there.
Yeah. I mean, the night he brought up about doing the YouTube channel and the podcast, and we're also talking about doing like different reviews on like spikes and all that.
Hmm.
I ended up making this note thing and I shared it with you.
Yeah,
We have a long list
yeah,
of different topics. Like we only got five out of like a list of 40.
yeah. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about, but good news is we're both yappers, so we'll be
Yeah.
good. So what? I mean, on to the next video, I guess, right?
Yeah, thank you for watching.
Thank you
Make
for
sure to
watching.
like,
Comment,
subscribe,
like,
and comment.
yeah, comment.
Also, leave a suggestion of if you guys think there's anything we should improve on. We'll take it some constructive
criticism.
criticism and just build off that. Like, give us some video ideas if what you guys want to see. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
People always say